Come and listen while you're getting dressed and before I have to leave. Have you ever wondered why we live up here in this apartment in the city, not some home out in the country? Well, we ain't always lived up here in Pennsylvania. A long time ago, me and your mother, my sister, used to live down south in the state of Mississippi. We were both born down there about 30 years ago, but when we were 12, it was time to move somewhere else, and we ended up here. You see, Billy, back down in Mississippi, it wasn't too kind of a place, especially to our kind. The white folks down there didn't like us black folks too much and treated us different, less, and wrong. About 35 years before me and your mother were born, there was this big war down there, and our people were freed because of it. But that didn't mean those white folks were happy about it. By the time I could remember as a young boy, things hadn't gotten much better. None of our people could get a job down there, no matter how hard we tried. The jobs we did get were so terribly contracted that we weren't working for ourselves, but for the boss. We were said to be free, but couldn't do nearly anything we wanted to, without the white folks stopping us, beating us, putting us in jail, or, in some terrible times, killing us. You see what I'm trying to tell you, Billy? Life for me and your mother was hard down in Mississippi, and the law wasn't going to help us, so we had to do it ourselves. With no promise of a good job, home, or a life in Mississippi, your grandmother decided it was time to leave for me and your mom. So we packed up our bags, our clothes, our food, our life, and we left the night, headed north. Now we had to sneak out in the night because even though we were free, they didn't like us leaving their towns because we were easy labor. And these men would catch people trying to go north and bring them back. So we headed north and traveled for a long time and stopped in many cities, but only long enough to sleep and resupply. I had heard that up in some place called Pittsburgh, there was plenty of good jobs and opportunities. Now that's how we got to this area. But these 20 years took hard work and sacrifice to get to live how we are now. And it isn't perfect, but it's better. Billy, in your life you can do great things and change America for you and our people. But back to what I was saying. When we got up here, I got a job as a child in a factory, crawling inside and fixing things, working all day for a small amount of pay. But at least the money I got was more than I could ever get down in Mississippi. Your mother would sew up my clothes and wash them up, and the other people in our apartment and at the factory took notice, and soon enough she was sewing up everyone's clothes for food, for cash, and many times just trading stuff or some help around. And we've stayed here ever since, and as I grew, my job changed in the factory, and luckily I came out all in one piece. With that war in Europe, business changed a little bit. It was a nice switch, and after that, but boy were the 1920s fun. And when that depression hit, it was hard for a lot of folks. But we were tougher than that, and it wasn't nothing we ain't seen before. So we struggled a little, but here we still are. And it's even nicer now, with the factory paying better wages and people treating us a little better. Not quite how I'd like it yet, but at least it's improved. With this war in Europe again, they changed the factory from just steel pieces to jeeps, and tanks, and ships, and all kinds of war machines. It feels like I'm actually part of something now, not just making steel sheets all day. A couple years now it's been like this, and some of the other workers got drafted, but luckily my letter hasn't come yet, so I can still take care of you and your mother. You see, Billy, it's important you know our past, so you can choose and make the world a better place for you and yours. And if you push through and persevere, along with some hard work, you can make anything out of this world that you set yourself to.